Hi there, this is John Frenay, and welcome to an Encore presentation of our Legacy Business Spotlight. These are best done in person, and with the current state of emergency restrictions, that's just not possible. So we will be re-releasing our past episodes every Saturday at noon until this pandemic is in our collective rearview mirror. Until then, enjoy this Encore presentation of our Legacy Business Spotlight.
Some businesses succeed. Some don't. Then there are those that seem to have been around forever. The true entrepreneurial success story. How did they do it? What was their vision? What makes a success? In this special episode for Eye on Annapolis, we speak with the true success stories. Those business owners that have been around for decades. Learn from their successes and failures. Now, here's host John Frenay.
We ventured up to Severna Park today, and we're here at a business called So Beautiful, and she's going to be our next guest on the Legacy Business Series. And this is Margaret Blunt with So Beautiful, and it's S-E-W, not S-O.
I always make that clarification.
You guys are located, your address is on 8 Evergreen, but you're really actually in the backside of Evergreen on Riggs Avenue.
Right.
In this cool little blue cottage that I didn't even know existed back here. And it's just such a small, little, neat little place. And you guys have been around for an awful long time.
Yes, I have been in business for 18 years. I started back in 2001. I actually started out on the fabrication side. I made everything that I was able to design for my customers.
That was my question. Is it as I walk in here? I mean, I see that this is primarily a window treatments store. Where's the sew come from? So is that the...
That's how it started, because I actually fabricated, like I said, I made everything and quickly grew in my reputation and how busy we were. I had seamstresses that I brought in. I started this out of my home. I actually had a workroom set up in my basement. As we grew, though, and got so busy, we really couldn't even manage the workload in-house. And I belonged to a Window Coverings Association of America, WCAA, and met a lot of great and very talented seamstresses out there that work just to the trade. So I started subcontracting our work out, and I work very closely with my workrooms. I'm on the phone with them every day for the projects that they do for us. Graduated from, or moved from the design or from the fabrication side right into design within a matter of about 5 years or so, and have been designing ever since.
Sort of like that moment in Jaws when they realized they needed a bigger boat, or
we just couldn't handle it. I'd be out on appointments, and you can only do so much in a day.
Now, are you a seamstress at heart?
I am. Yep. Back from my, when I was very young, my mom taught me how to sew when I was 8 years old, and I made my own clothes.
You don't darn socks, do you?
I don't darn socks.
Do they still do that?
And we do have people, and I don't do alterations. I tell you, clothing, window treatments is very particular, but clothing is very difficult. I am not I don't even make my own clothes. Never, not anymore.
So Beautiful has now evolved. You've jobbed it out. How did we get to this cottage here on Evergreen or Riggs, depending on which way you're...
Yeah, so again, it continued to grow. I had a very small office space also in my basement with 3 employees and all this product that comes in and out from as a priority dealer for Hunter Douglas. I also carry Norman shutters. So any one day you've got deliveries of blind shades and shutters and fabric rolls and trims and hardware, and it's like, where do you put all this? So my garage, my husband said, okay, that's enough. So I moved out to this space here 6 years ago, actually this month. That'd be 6 years.
Okay, so that was 2013?
Yeah, 2013. So. Yep, October of 2013 is when I moved to this space. And it was just this open cottage, as you call it, as we refer to it also. And my husband did the build out for the office side of it. And then we've just continued to bring in these, we call them work tables, but they have obviously a lot of storage for product as well as space to work, to pull out fabrics and put together combinations for our customers, meet with our customers here to show them what we've selected, and then obviously a place to bring stuff in, and then it either goes out right to the customer for installation, or we also have a storage unit where
Now today, what is your product line today? I mean, obviously, I'm seeing all of these fabric swatches hanging all over the walls and fabric books and everything else. I mean, is it primarily curtains and blinds? Is it?
Yeah, we really do full design now, but our main core and has always been and will always be our custom window treatments, which includes and soft furnishings, we refer to it as, which includes also bedding and upholstery and cushions. We do, like I said, I'm a priority dealer for Hunter Douglas, so we also do blind shades and shutters, as well as draperies and valances and anything that will complete a room. In the last year, have been branching out a little more, mainly for our current customer base, because they'll ask us for design services as well. So we have a couple of projects. We just finished up a master bedroom and bath renovation for a customer. I have another one that they moved to a new home and interesting placement of furniture in a kind of an odd-shaped living room, so we help them with their plan and all of their reupholstery and getting some new pieces as well as, mixing it with their old.
So in a situation like that, are you working with, we'll say it's somebody that's, not just looking to buy a replacement blind for the kitchen window. Are you working with an interior decorator, or is that what
we also do that too? That is a whole nother side of my business that has grown quite a bit in the last few years. We do partner with other design professionals, architects, builders, and designers. I have several designers that I partner with that window treatments is not their specialty. It's not their comfort zone. There's a lot of moving parts and details. It's not rocket science, but if you don't get it right, it looks like you didn't get it right.
I've been to Home Depot before. I know what happens when you don't get it right.
So, there are designers that will, how do I say this? Basically, we help them bring their designs to reality and help them with this selection of fabric. They might say, I really love this fabric, and I will say, okay, yeah, that will absolutely work, but we'll have to work it this way. Okay. So having the fabrication background helps me to navigate and get them the design that they want with the right combination of fabrics and trims that might be in hardware. And we, we're all about marrying aesthetic and function. So a lot of times, someone might aesthetically want one thing, but functionally they need something else, and I'm the one that kind of helps bring those two
to
together.
Guide them through that.
Yeah,
that
absolutely
conundrum that they
and that is especially prevalent with working with architects, which I love. But we can anticipate in the building process. Well, what do we need to do to hide the headrail of that shade so it's not sitting outside the trim? Is it inside the trim, or is it recessed into a pocket?
Right.
All those kinds of things that we can anticipate ahead of time.
There's all sorts of things that go into that, and I know. And you talked about branching out, and I know that before we started recording, you're a member of the Annapolis Design District.
Yes.
Which is the organization that started in Annapolis and is now expanding. Because I was a little bit surprised to see way up here in Severna Park. Not that that's that far away.
Right. We've talked about different chapters, but I don't think we're quite there yet. It's not quite that big.
That's a good group of people. That I would certainly think that there's a lot of sympathetic businesses that you can work with. I mean, if you're working into a kitchen, you've got,
right. Yep.
And
InHome Stone, kitchen and counters, and the list is endless. But there's a great collaboration amongst the different members, and we all have a different representation, and we're all very open and sharing. Like I said, a great collaboration.
Wish more businesses would be like that and understand that, the whole rising tide floats all boats, and we can work together a lot more efficiently than we can work apart against each other, I think.
Right. Yeah. It's not a competitive nature within that group. And there are definitely, multiple. Exactly. There are definitely competitors within that group, but we're all there working together. I mean, it's an area that's got a lot of opportunity for all of us. There's opportunity for everybody, and you just have to keep that open mind and recognize that.
Kevin Plank is selling his Georgetown mansion for like $13 million, and he put in like a $7 million renovation, and I'm sure that's probably your ideal client, as it is probably anybody else. But what is your client today, or is there one?
Yeah, we have there's no one ideal client. I mean, we work with such a range from, very small projects to, very large whole homes.
Well, what's a small project?
A small project is a cushion.
Okay, so
somebody walked in the door today and said, I just renovated my kitchen and I have a banquette. Will you do that? Absolutely, we'll help you with that.
Okay, so if I just painted my bathroom, want to change it up a little bit, and there's a window in there, and you can sell me one blind or shutter or curtain.
We will do it. Yep.
If I've got a whole house?
Yeah, we'll do that too.
And that includes the blinds, the shutters, the valances. You said upholstery?
We do upholstery, reupholstery, yep.
So do you actually, I mean, I'm assuming that you don't do it here. There's not enough room to reupholster, but I mean, you work.
I have a couple of local upholsterers that we use.
Okay, so
Absolutely. We'll help them with the selection of fabric, and maybe we're changing up the design. We're taking it from a loose back cushion to a tight back, or we'll help them design a new look out of that same piece.
So how does that whole process work? Okay, I've got a living room. It's looking real tired. It's looking real 1970s, and the Brady Bunch is falling out of vogue, and I need to freshen it up a little bit. And I
don't know. There's a whole series on Brady Bunch. You've
true.
Seen that on HGTV.
that is true. But I mean, how does that work? I mean, I come in and do we look at, I guess, floor coverings that are there or that are going to be there, and then you work with paints and curtains, and then
it starts all with an in-home consultation. And we can kind of assess where they are.
And that's ideal for you, right? To get in the actual room, in the home, as opposed to saying, okay, I've got a 20 by 10 foot room, which means nothing to me.
Anybody, right. Well, as you walked in, I was taking a phone call, and a gentleman asking me about, a particular room in his home, and, could we help him with that, and trying to describe it a little bit. But I'm like, yep, it'd be best if we just meet in your home, and I have a better feel for what's the space look like, what's the size of the windows, what's their decorating style, what are they in need of. Sometimes I'll get in there and they'll say they just need window treatments, but I'm thinking I might ought to change this and this and this too. Like, we can help you with that, but this is where we need to start, because the window treatments might be the last piece, and we need to address, are you getting in, do you need new furniture, do you need new flooring?
Well, it brings in the real personal service there. And I think that anytime you're dealing with I think it is still your most valuable asset that you've ever going to purchase, your home, is that, the personal service is there. You want to have somebody that comes out. And I think that it's all the difference in the world when you can sit there and say, oh, well, I didn't realize you had 16-foot ceilings.
Exactly.
That made it, that 10 by 20 room now.
That changes it completely. I mean, now we're looking now at 2-story window coverings that, wow, that top bank of windows, it's just blistering hot here in the summer. I need something to control that light. Well, you certainly can't reach it either. So now, we're looking at something with motorization. And, that's a whole nother bailiwick. But
what did they do in the old days when they didn't have, like, remote controls where you click your blinds open and down? Was that little cranky things?
They didn't. Yeah, probably. But they probably didn't have these big 2-story,
that's true,
family rooms either. They had, 1-story and shutters.
How have you adapted to architectural changes? I mean, that's got to be a big challenge, because, we look here in Severna Park. Old Severna Park is filled with 40s, 50s, up to 70s kind of homes, which a lot of ranchers that are
got quite the mix, and even in downtown Annapolis, you do too. I mean, I've done some historic homes to renovate older renovated cottages on the water, to total tear down and rebuild, to a 7,500 square foot home
you've got to keep up on it. And window treatments are I would say the bread and butter, but that's your primary service that you provide up here.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is our primary service. We really pride ourselves in finding the right treatment for the right window, for the right room, for the customer. I mean, really, and there's a lot of coordination that goes on with that. So you asked, well, how do you keep up with the architectural details? The changes are the challenge that comes with the different architectural details are the different shapes of windows and the challenging windows. That's where we really pride ourselves too, is finding the right treatment for, oh wow, you got those angled windows facing the water and you don't want to hide the view, but you've got to control the light. We have a product for that. We'll come up with something.
What would shock me to know about window treatments today? Anything? New technology, or what? I mean, is there a window that you can't? Have you ever met that one window that you
Yes. Well, put it this way. There isn't a window we can't treat, but there might be a limit to what someone might want to spend to treat that window.
Okay.
Maybe that might be, but so the shock to you might be, there are some pretty outrageous windows that might, the price tag might, to be able to address it, might blow you away.
Now, is most of your business here in Anne Arundel County and then Severna Park area, Arnold? Or, I'm assuming that if Bill Gates called, you'd be there in a minute. you figure out how to do that.
No, we do really mainly the greater Annapolis area is heart of what we do. A lot of with Severna Park and Annapolis. I do quite a bit actually over on the Eastern Shore. There's a lot of building going on over there. So I have several clients at over the bridge, Graysonville, Easton. I have done as far as over to Ocean City. Those are kind of one-offs. I have several clients who have, they'll have winter homes down in Florida. I've been able to help them or elsewhere. I have another one down in South Carolina. And they'll say, no, I just want to use you to help us out. So I have a way of coordinating like installation services, and also I can help them with their product selection and then get it all measured and installed down there. So
I imagine after 20 years in business that a lot of your business is repeats and referrals.
It is.
And it's the old adage that you screw it up once and they're going to tell 1,000 people. You do a great job and they'll tell maybe 2. That sort of speaks to your longevity here, certainly. And I can't imagine that, this is, you say, oh my gosh, I love what you did with your kitchen window. And it makes it very easy to say, oh my gosh, so this is so beautiful that did this, or they figured out how to take care of that crazy window.
Right,
or that.
Right.
It's kind of neat. I can watch TV in this bright room because they put the treatments up on the upper windows so the sun doesn't come in the middle of the afternoon because the builder put the house a little bit crooked on the lot.
I have built my business and my reputation on our customer service and our attention to detail. And I'm proud of what I have built for that very reason, and I've cultivated a lot of great relationships with my clients and repeat clients purely on that. They know that I will see it through.
20 years, you should be. You have absolutely every right to be.
I tell my customers, if something isn't quite right, I'm going to see it before you do, and I'm going to have it fixed before you ever notice it. So it won't go in their house until it's perfect.
It all starts with, whenever possible, the in-home visit to do that. Now, is there a charge for an in-home visit?
Usually we charge a $95 consult fee.
Okay.
It's
just
a one-time fee.
It's insane. Okay, this is not somebody that's going to buy the vinyl blinds at Home Depot that's getting you anyway. I mean,
and our goal when we go out is to give them ideas that they can use with or without us. So it's not
I imagine most of your clients, when you do a visit, you've left the doors closed and they're going, wow, I didn't think about that. That's great. That's and again, I think it has to do with the idea. I mean, I know when I look at my house, I mean, I look at it at the same way and the same eyes. I just don't have the creative flair to do that. And certainly I think with the number of places that you've been into, I'm looking around again at the number of designs and options that are available here. You've got that, I never thought of that. That everybody sort of really needs, that's going to bring a wow factor into the home on the interior.
It's that way with my own home. I bring one of my designers into my house and they can make a suggestion. Why don't you just move this over there? And it's like, I never thought of that. You're right. It looks so much better, or it functions so much better.
How is your own home? Are you a window treatment junkie at home? Do you change it up all the time?
Yeah, I'm in the process of some remodeling right now in my own home. So I'm at the point of transitioning a lot of our decor and just changing things out. My kids are both out of the home now and no more college bills. So that's
a great feeling.
It's an opportunity. I can remember one of my customers telling me years ago, when your kids are out of school, out of college, it's like getting a raise. And I'm like, I can't wait for that time to come. And now it's here, and finally I'm able to do the things to my house that I've been doing for everybody else for years. I'm like, it's my turn.
It's funny. I sit there and I say, there's 3 seminal moments for kids. One, when they can wake up in the morning on Saturday, get a bowl of Cheerios, and watch TV without waking you up.
Yes, that's a big milestone.
That's a big one.
That's the first milestone.
The other one was being able to ride a bike on their own. Mm-hmm. And the most recent one for my youngest actually just graduated college in May. And so they're now all 3 employed, living on their own. And I got a locksmith coming to change the locks on the door. So that's
seriously
not really, but it's but I mean,
and getting off of the insurance.
Yep.
Off of the insurance. We're just...
How often do you see people redecorating their houses or rechanging them up? I mean, I'm sure there's no set. You must do it every 7 years, 10 years, or 20 years.
No, it's interesting. Most people would probably say 7 or 8 years is probably the average. But, I've been in some homes and people say, I'm the kind of person that likes to change out every couple of years. Well, custom might not be for them then. They might not want to invest that kind of money. So I think most of the time when I'm in someone's home, because it is so custom and it is an investment, we're not seeing it's not something they're going to change.
So they're
really
looking for a
quickly.
personal return on that investment.
Exactly.
And that's, the comfort and the appearance and their home.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'm at the stage where this is their forever home, and we really are. This might be their last. I don't want to do this again. I'm changing it all up, and I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, we say that all the time. Buying cars, buying houses. Saying, no, this is horrible. This is horrible.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Or like I said, I do a lot of new construction too. So, that's a whole different, after you've made all those decisions, you can't even fathom the idea of changing again, in a few years. So.
Do you personally have any kind of a style of a home that you prefer to work with? Whether it be, I'm thinking like a waterfront home or just a rancher on a little street, or is there?
No, they all are so unique, and that's what I love about what I do is because each home we're in calls for something that's very specific and unique to finish their space.
It's one of a kind.
Yeah, and that's what custom is. It's one of a kind, and we want to give them one of a kind. You don't want to be what they walked into the store and if someone can see, oh, okay, they got the same vignette that was in the storefront. That's not what we do. I think. So I guess they're kind of all my favorites in some ways. Just so unique. I can't say one is a favorite over another.
I've got to thank Suzanne Marshall from Whaleworks Design and Illustration, who sort of turned me on to you guys up here in the little blue cottage on Riggs Avenue, directly across the street from Severna Park Elementary, and a little down the street from Severna School, their athletic fields. And we're here at So Beautiful, and you can check them out at SoBeautifulWindows.com, SEW. And we're here with Margaret Blunt, who is the owner, and you've started this company 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
18. 2001.
Let's call it 20. Let's round up.
We can call it 20. That's fine.
It feels like 50. Sometimes, but it probably feels like...
Maybe it's just officially 18, but you could say 20.
Now, here's a question. When I was setting up these legacy podcast series, I initially said, okay, well, let me look at businesses that have been around 10 years. And I've only been doing ION Annapolis for 10 years. And I'm like, I'm like the new kid on the block. I can't be considered... Does the 20 years that you've been in business seem like it's flown by?
It does, yes. I actually had a client ask me yesterday. She said, how long have you been in business? And when I said 18 years, she was like, wow, that's just really incredible. I said, I know. I don't know. Love to somehow, not that I could statistically do this, but think of how many yards of fabric have we purchased, for customers? Right. How many feet of install have we done? Or, how many blinds have we installed? I don't know. Just 18 years is a...
I guess at this point now, if you're talking about somebody redesigning every 7 or 8 years, you're probably starting to go back into homes that you had at the beginning.
I have. And actually this year, I think I've had 3 or 4 houses that I have either gone back to their same house or the same client, but in a different house. It's a lot of fun. And I love that. It'll be like, yeah, I'm going to change this room. And it might be they just have a new room to do, or it might be that they're changing their room altogether.
Sure. Now, here's another sort of a related one there. Have you ever gone into a house that you did prior and it's a new owner that happened to hire you again and you're like, I've been here before?
Yep, absolutely. I have. And sometimes it's coincidence and sometimes it's because they did pass my card along to say, so-and-so did the window treatments. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well,
it's a lot of fun.
Check out So Beautiful at SoBeautifulWindows.com. Margaret Blunt. If you get up in Severna Park, definitely swing by. They've got a great little parking lot, so parking is not a problem here next to the Blue Cottage. Just come off of Evergreen Road, take a right on Riggs if you're coming off of the B&A Boulevard or Ritchie Highway, I guess. Mm-hmm. And if you're in the market for any kind of upholstery, reupholstery, window treatments, this is the place to go. Thank you very much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, John. It's great.
Thanks for listening to this special podcast for ION Annapolis. Please be sure to visit IONAnnapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinions. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the ION Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you your local news direct to your phone or tablet every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Subscribe on iTunes or Google Play.